Bore da, or good morning if you're not from the Welsh Alps. Today it's super early actually. It's well, it's not early now, it's 8 o'clock. But I left the house at 7. Like, I'm training this morning early so that I've got lots of recovery today, and then tomorrow I've got a complete day off, which is the first day off I've had since like the middle of last week, so it's like been over 10 days. Feel great. Just great. This morning I've done a few natural zone 6 efforts, and by that I mean basically hitting the bottom of anything over 30 seconds, like any gradient over 30 seconds, just been hitting that as hard as possible and holding on, basically. Something that I don't rarely do, like I don't do enough zone 6 efforts, which is like 450 watts and above for me. And now I'm moseying on over to Laverack, although I'm pretty much at the club now, nearly. And I'm meeting the structured ride because they're going to do a big ride today. I'm not going to do it because me and Charlie are going to visit a friend later today. We're staying over and we'll be back tomorrow.
He's just like, he's going to go all the way in, isn't he? Oh, his little bum's disappearing again. We can have a photo together.
So I may have a little bit of what I fancy food-wise tonight and tomorrow. What's pretty interesting is that like not a lot of riders, I feel, train super early. It's a combination of many things. I mean, if they're full-time and they got all day to train, then why train at 7 AM or 6 AM or whatever. But particularly like a day like today where it's like 17 degrees at like 7 AM, it almost feels like 3 PM. Like, it doesn't actually feel early. And I'm a morning person anyway, and plus I've had a coffee, so I'm raring to go even at this time. What time do you call this? They are so late. It's like 10 past. You wait till I speak to them. I'm gonna swing it round. Oh, there's a bump. I bet I won't catch him though. Nice view from Laverack Bridge today. Well, actually it's not. It's very dark. Remember that I had a comment off somebody not so long ago. In fact, it was like 2 or 3 days ago, asking what my current situation is with the Wahoo. Like what numbers do I have on there, what data fields do I use. So I've done a video before, but it was a long time ago, and because we're in a different phase of training, so we're doing a lot of high intensity stuff and obviously training for a specific effort, I thought I'd go through the little changes I've made since then. So I am going to show you that now. Okay, so this is my home screen. This is my default screen. It will basically be my go-to for a race or training ride. So being I've just finished a ride, I thought it'd be perfect because there's actually numbers here as opposed to 0, 0, 0 and all everything else. So this is what I have. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's nothing really to talk about on this page. We go on to my next page, which is my average page. And the average page is filled with all my averages, yes. But it also has things like normalized power, has things like my last lap power. The intensity factor right here, that's a new one that I've put on. And I put it there for a few reasons, mainly to fill a gap, because I didn't really have anything there at the time. But intensity factor is a strange one, because you can actually do a lot of your efforts, a lot of your intervals based on intensity factor. If you don't know your power zones well enough, as in if you don't know, say, your zone 2 is between 200 and 270 watts, for example, then you could use this to pace certain things. So if you knew that you were going to do an hour at sweet spot, you could have this up on your screen and you could ride at 0.88 to 0.95 IF, which is basically 88 to 95%. So today's ride is 0.62. Now, funny enough, like a lot of my rides would be between the ranges of 0.68 and 0.75, and that's not always the case, but even today's ride, 0.62, is a fairly low intensity factor. But with the little efforts I've been doing, they've definitely been around the 1.3, 1.4 marks, 130, 140% of FTP. But they have an effect on this number. So the rest of the ride has probably been well below this, just out of interest. Next up we have the best screen ever, the elevation screen, which happens to have my watts on there as well, so I can keep track of it. Also has some irrelevant information, like the temperature. Average gradient is a pretty cute one. Like yesterday I did a big ride, 5 hours with 3,000 meters climbing, and I had nearly 2% average gradient. RPM, that's pretty depressing having that there actually, because it's nearly always like 50 RPM or something when I'm going up the steep climbs in this area. Elevation's a fun one, and then this one here as well is pretty good. This is basically the chart of when you're riding along, which you can zoom in and zoom out of. It's good motivation actually if you have the route planned out for oh, that's nice and shaky. Nice one, Ed. Need to sort that one out. But it's good motivation if you have the whole elevation in for your ride, because you can see the climbs you're ticking off and stuff. And then we have the map, pretty self-explanatory, speed and kilometers an hour. Just of interest as well, I have my watts set to 5 seconds average, and then my nearby segment. But I don't actually use this unless I'm doing again like an hour's worth of tempo or sweet spot, and I need a course that I know will keep me motivated, or a segment that keeps me motivated. And the lap screen just has the bare minimum of watts, 5 second average, the lap time, the lap distance, and then the speed. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this far. If you made it this far, I applaud you. If you're still here, if you're following this little series, I applaud you. So if you wouldn't mind, if you did like it, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, whatever your preference is. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you're new. By the way, after this weekend, we should have some pretty good, like, indications of where I'm at, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a mock race setup. So I'm going to be doing like what we're going to be having in on the Isle of Man. So stay tuned for that. That should be pretty interesting to share out. Pretty interesting for myself. I'm going to give myself up for it.